Hey guys, Captain here, and today I wanted to talk about a game called Deadlock. I've been playing it for the past month or so. Thought I'd hop on it after not being able to really play Overwatch due to crashing. I lie, and since Overwatch Rivals hasn't really piqued my interest recently, I needed another game to play, competitive-wise. And I thought, well, why not Deadlock? Since I was invited to this game like last year by a friend and didn't open the email to get the to accept it until like a couple of months ago, and now I'm finally playing it since last month. And I've been having a really great time with this game. It's certainly an interesting one. It is a hero shooter, but it's also a MOBA, like League or Smite or any of the ones that you've played before. Now, I haven't really played MOBAs in depth before, but I have tried them, like League and Smite, and I, to be honest, didn't really enjoy them that much. Smite maybe a little more so, but the balancing didn't really carry through for all that long, and they kind of nerfed a lot of the characters that I played at some point, and I just stopped enjoying it that much. As for League, I feel like there's just way too much going on at this point. There are probably over 120, 140 characters, something like that, something crazy like that, with so many items to take into account as well. So I don't know, I just never really got into them that in depth. But I have tried them, and so I thought, oh, well, I've played a MOBA before, kind of. And I'm used to hero shooters. I'm used to, positioning and stuff. And this game just kind of piqued my interest, because there was a month or two ago they did announce that they were releasing 3 new characters, and I kind of got in during the middle of the 6 hero release. Billy release was already released. Doorman, Mina, and Paige were all already released, and the only 2 characters I didn't have yet were Victor and Drifter were the only 2 that hadn't been implemented yet. But they did all release pretty quickly in the same like month or so. There was a lot of, at least in my experience, I didn't really experience the other 4 when they had first released, but I did experience when Drifter and Victor first released as a new player. They seemed very strong. Now I'm more or less used to fighting these characters more often. Now I've been really enjoying the game so far. At least, well, let me be totally honest. In the beginning, I didn't really understand what I was doing, and I had kind of a hard time getting into it with all the items and characters, and it being a new game for me. I was just kind of lost. About the 3rd day in, I kind of got, fully into it. I started understanding the characters I wanted to play, how items worked, and interacted with other characters. And I'm certainly not the best at this game. However, I have been climbing in the stats. In skill, I'm at Seeker 5 at this point. I think I have like 160 hours, 140 hours in the game, somewhere around that. And to be that high already, I think is somewhat, a pretty good thing, right? I'm at the top of Seeker, almost Alchemist at this point. So again, not the best, but I'm starting to enjoy it. As all MOBAs tend to do, it takes time to get good at them. But I feel like this one has the advantage of being newer and having less characters and items than the other ones, which makes it easier to get into, albeit not that easy still. But I've been enjoying it, Another thing about MOBAs, especially in this game, is that they do take a long time to get through a match, especially if you're just starting out and teams are very passive when it either comes to farming or taking objectives. You know, these newer players don't really do that. And I've been watching a lot of videos of people talking about this game, talking about items, talking about like what you should do. Uh, uh, YouTuber I've been watching recently to really help me through my gameplay. Deathly is his name, and he really goes in depth about a lot of the aspects of Deadlock, and that's interesting to me, you know. I do want to get good at a game. If I want to get good at a game, I try to watch YouTube videos to really understand what I'm doing wrong and what I should be doing to do things right. And he's been really helping with that. At first I did, you know, watch people play like the character, because that's kind of how I learned as well. I showed off like 2 others that I saw play Lash. It was a player named Escape and a player named Chasm. They both played Lash, and they played them really cool. And I was like, oh, these guys play really cool. I'm gonna try and copy them. That's not really how MOBAs work. That might work with like Overwatch or Marvel Rivals. At least that's how I learned how to play those games. But since there is a MOBA aspect to this game, you have to know how to farm and push waves and objectives and when to do so. And even more so, it gets more complicated than that if you want to get better. But you learn those things over time, right? In my experience, I'd probably suggest, you know, just finding a character you enjoy playing or think is cool, and then getting used to their kit, and then getting used to items, you know? Like, this game comes with default builds. Just in the beginning, you know, play with the default builds. Try to understand what each item does in these default builds, and then once you get used to a character, or you finally find the character that you want to play, go to the build browser and go to public, because there are a ton of builds for you to choose from. If you don't like any of them, you can choose another one. You know, and there's builds for every character. Even when the new ones came out, there was builds for them day one. Were they great? But yeah, that's just another aspect of this game that tries to make it easier on new players, you know. But I do suggest like watching others, you know, just kind of talking about stuff. You don't necessarily need coaching, and if you want to play it casually, you can. But I do enjoy getting better at these types of games. And one thing I really like about this game is the movement. You know, that's something that I think the other MOBAs really lack, is something interesting to do. And being able to move vertically and around, dash around and slide, and kind of use your movement to get away from engagement is very interesting to me. But I have grown to like the farming aspect of just, you know, gaining souls from minions, certain other side objectives like farms or center sacrifice around the map, and really trying to keep myself above the other team's soul count. More complicated gameplay when you do get higher level. You know, I think this game has a lot to offer in terms of what you want from it. Like, there's cool movement, there's cool characters. At least I think some of the characters' designs are pretty cool. Like, Abrams looks pretty cool. Lash, he's not a great guy, but I mean, he's still very fun to play. He has a lot of movement on him, and he plays like some other characters in other games that I've played.
It's my charity dedicated to children who kind of suck.
Something that is weird that does, you know, that this game kind of separates itself from other hero games in general. I'm not just talking about MOBAs, but also hero shooters. Is that there's no definitive melee character at all. Like, every character has a gun. Even the ones that have like strong melees, like Abrams, he still has a gun. Even Billy, he has a gun. He has an SMG.
You're a gargoyle that
he
punches people
does a
in
lot
the
of melee
face.
damage.
What do you want? A medal?
And they do a lot of melee damage, and you can certainly build items so they do more or gain more from meleeing. I kind of like it, you know. If you want to do melee, you can, and if you don't want to, you don't have to. Right? You can rely on your abilities, you can rely on your gun, or you can rely on other aspects like your tankiness, or though I don't think melee is the best thing to be doing in this game all the time. But that's something else I really like is when you go into queue, you have to choose 3 characters, so you're not guaranteed a character. But I think that poses a lot of interesting like dynamics in the game. Like, you're not going against what's quote unquote meta. You're usually going against a team that's completely different every game, mostly. Unless somehow you do face the same people. But there are times where you're queued for a character that you really want to play and you prioritize them more than the other ones, and you don't get them and they're on the other team or they're still on your team. That's it. There's only one of that character in the game, which is nice, so you're not doing a mirror match, and there's a lot more interesting dynamics in the game, a lot more interesting engagement. There's no counter picking, which I love. I love. That's something I really don't like about hero shooters is counter picking and having players go back to spawn, choosing a different character that might play better against your character. In this game, you choose a character before you spawn in, or you choose 3 before you spawn in, get one of them, and now you have to be content with the lane you're in. And, you know, sometimes some characters are better than others in this game. However, there's items to choose from to help you not take as much spirit damage, which is like ability damage in this game, or bullet damage, which is like your main weapon. You can build against it, right? You can build around not being countered by other characters. Is it perfect? No. I don't think you can perfectly build around countering one character, but being able to play the character that you want to play and not be countered every time you play them, it is nice, you know? And not switching all the time and not having meta, you know, I think is the best thing about this game. Now I I have gotten a lot of TikToks where people are like, oh, this is the next big game, this is the game everybody should be playing. First off, I like this game. Second off, this game is in early access and it's invite only, so I'm not sure how it's going to be the biggest game at the moment. Obviously, when it releases, it'll get more traction, but at this point, I don't think it's a huge game, right? I do see the potential in this game. It is really fun. It's really engaging. More engaging than some MOBAs, in my opinion. This game certainly has a lot to like about it. I have seen gameplay from like a year ago, or like 11 months ago, somewhere around that point, even a few months ago, a little less than that. The game looked completely different. The way it looks now is impressive compared to what it looked like, say, 5 months ago. You know, even a lot of the character portraits have changed, and so that they really feel pretty unique. If you go back and watch a video on this game, you're gonna look at the character portraits and be very perplexed by why they look so bad. But I mean, again, this game is in early development. They're just, I think they're doing a phenomenal job with the art, with the character design. Some characters are really strong right now, which is fine. I mean, they're, you know, in any hero-based game, there's always going to be someone who's strong, and then they have to balance them throughout the course of the next month or so, you know, when they release them. And now more than ever, they've released 6 new characters, and they've got to balance all 6 of them, right? But to be honest, I feel like any character's kind of viable in this game. especially at the rank I'm in. Like, I don't think you're gonna have a hard time playing a character because they're bad until you get past, like, most of these ranks, right? So, honestly, just if you do somehow get access to this game via a friend invite, or you're thinking about trying it, because a friend did invite you, go ahead. Like, it is an interesting game. I think it deserves, uh, it certainly deserves all the players it's getting. Now, there's something I do want to mention, is that this is Valve's MOBA, right? This is Valve's take on a hero shooter slash MOBA, and this isn't their first MOBA. I literally just realized like a few days ago that Dota 2 is also their MOBA. So they certainly have experience making games like this. And you know, the hero shooter aspect too. They have experience in that field as well. Being that they've made TF2, kind of the grandfather of all hero shooters. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I think this game is really coming into its own. I'm excited to see more content about it. I've been seeing a lot of TikToks about it already, and you know, I've been watching professional or high ranked players kind of teach new players how to play it. And I think to them, like, when I'm watching their content, especially Deathly, he's teaching you how to play the game because he likes the game and he wants more players to play it, and he wants to see this game succeed, and I kind of do too, you know. It is a fun game. I would love to see more players, right? Also, if you're worried about it being a toxic game, because most, I wouldn't say most, but specifically League being one of the most toxic games in some people's experience, I haven't received that much toxicity in this game at all. And by that much, I mean like almost non-existent. People are either jokingly raging, or they're saying like, oh, it's alright if they lose or something. So I'm kind of glad no one's really really super toxic about this game right now. Again, it is in early access. And there is something else I need to mention. It's the fact that there is only one mode. It's just the regular mode. It's technically called standard, I think. Right, play standard match against other players. But you still get a ranking. So technically everything's ranked. But every time I play the game, I don't think I'm playing ranked. I think I'm playing casual. And then I look at my rank later on and I'm like, oh wow, I'm doing pretty good. I'm going up in rank, right? I think that's something something surprising to me, that it was always ranked and I had no clue for a while. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this game. Again, I'm having fun with it. I think everybody should give it a try when it does come out. I'm excited what they do in the future. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.